why we don't use ClickFunnels 2.0 membership areas. We get asked all the time, when are we going to use ClickFunnels courses? When are we going to move our stuff over to there by our clients? And our answer has evolved a little bit. But in this video, we're going to dive into why we actually have not made the jump over to ClickFunnels 2.0 membership areas, otherwise known as courses. And we're going to tell you what we use instead. So to start us off, we got to talk about like where we were at a few months ago so that you can understand where we're at today. And when before 2.0 came out, what we would use for our clients' membership areas was actually ClickFunnels 1.0 or Classic. And it wasn't great, but we used code to make these really awesome custom experiences. We have amazing Dan Havey that's on our team and works with us and our clients. And we were able to make these awesome experiences with custom code. Now, that was great, but it had some problems. The problems were it cost a lot to hire us to be able to have this amazing experience. So those that couldn't afford it were like, well, what are we supposed to do? What do we use? And we would be like, well, you could just use it out of the box, or you could hire us and like pay us over time, right? Those aren't great solutions for people that weren't in a position that could afford it. So when 2.0 was announced, we were so excited because we could see the potential. We could see like, oh my gosh, it's going to be everything that we need. It's going to be everything that our clients need. And so we were super excited, so excited that we went and created a group about it to geek out on everything. And so from there, fast forward, ClickFunnels 2.0 actually gets launched and we get into it. And we're like, okay, we've got to learn everything that we can. We got to like get all caught up on how to use this so we can start using it and implementing it immediately. And we started building stuff for ourselves first to test it out. And let me share my screen. So this is actually a membership area that is built in 2.0. This is for our Geek Out community. And one of the things that I noticed immediately was the features that they gave us had really good potential, but they weren't quite working yet. And keep in mind, it's beta, right? And it's still considered beta today. Yeah. And so I started figuring out some workarounds to make things work. Like this actually right here is called the customer center page, which is awesome. I love the idea of a customer center page because it means you can put all of your products, all the things that you offer all on one page. And depending on if people have access to it, they can get in and it's going to be awesome. Or it would send them to where they could go and purchase to get access. But the elements for the page weren't quite working. So I found some workarounds. This is linking just right into where you go and start to see the membership area of this particular product. And then we can click in and see course stuff. So this was great, but we did start to see a lot of problems. And even with the sidebar navigation, when we got in here, and we had Dan write some code to help us make it work a little bit better, which is what you see here. And actually one of the problems was that ClickFunnels is changing some code as they are developing it further, that sometimes the code breaks because they've changed something that the code was relying on. So there's just some problems there. So we tried real hard to use ClickFunnels 2.0 memberships. And I think we got really far. Like this is a pretty good looking membership area and it functions really well. We found some really cool ways to use it. But then Andrea is going to tell us about what happened next.
Well, and there was a couple other things, right, before that step. And that was that even in this, there's some nuances in terms of there's themes that are associated with types of pages. And so there's an architecture that's behind the scenes with 2.0 that, again, I think ultimately will end up serving us well. But right now, there's just some limitations in terms of, like, if I only wanted some people to go to a certain area and I didn't want them to go through all these layers of navigation, or if I only wanted them to be able to, like, click and see, not like the top level of navigation, but just like some levels, right? So there's a very, very rich architecture behind this where it's like level upon level, it's like nested folders, think of it, right? Where
Yeah.
there's a huge amount of nested folders here, and being able to traverse those folders is kind of clunky. And being able to hide some of the folders I want to traverse is relatively hard. Um, and
Which
Susan
is,
did make some great workarounds, but yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say, which is exactly why I decided not to use the features that they gave us. Like there are some very specific elements that are in the 2.0 courses area that
Mhm.
are supposed to make all of that work really, really well. And it does. But if we want to bypass a level of pages, you can't use those features. So I'm not using those features. And instead, I'm linking directly to where I need them to go. And so by doing that, it causes other limitations where I'm not able to use, like, the perks of using those other features I'm not able to actually use because I had to bypass a page manually.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's
Yeah.
it's just some pros and cons of what was happening there.
Yeah. But I
And then you
remember
want to
at
talk
the
about login stuff too?
Well, right. Like, and I remember at the time, right? So again, we were super excited. We're committed to ClickFunnels 2.0. Like, we have a whole movement. We're like, we're going there, guys. Like, this is the right move and this is the right company and technology to back. So we're like, what do we do? Because we still have to serve our clients. And at the end of the day, membership is like our primary service that we offer. And it's not okay for us to deliver kind of that subpar experience when we can help it. So we were like, shoot, what do we do? But like Susan had created this offer and I was like, okay, maybe this could work. It might be good enough, right? But then we got hit with a couple things that we couldn't overcome. And it was the whole way that members get into the membership area right now, the customer login experience is really kind of convoluted. And a lot of people were having difficulty getting in and being able to know, like, how do I get access to what? How do I get in? They couldn't get in. Their logins weren't working. We have that magic link, which is basically where like they have to put in their email and then go get a link and then come back. But then when they were clicking on that link, it was driving them to the wrong spot. That had nothing to do with us. And so these were things that were like, we can't overcome these things right now. So, and then in addition to that, like we even started to get super creative on like, how do we just get louder about like click only here, or something like that. But then the last kind of straw on the camel's back where we're like, ooh, we can't do it yet. And there was some reliability issues. So like videos would go down or the page wouldn't load or things wouldn't like render right. And there was, it got to a point where like, we can't in good conscience bring our clients here or bring our customers here because it's not there yet, right? It's true to beta. So we were like, what do we do? So we started to explore because what we know about the field of membership area, we just recently actually are completing a series of the Should I Switch series, where we explored Thinkific, Teachable, Kajabi, Go High Level, the Mastermind program, and School will be the next one that we release, where we're like, do we actually explore like these other solutions potentially, or what do we do? Like, what do we recommend our clients to? But at the end of the day, we came back to what we already know, but we had to tweak it because as Susan said at the very beginning, we didn't want people to always have to pay us the very large amount of money that they would typically pay us in order to build great experiences. But we also knew that ClickFunnels 1.0 membership out of the box, it needed a little bit of love. And so we got to work, working with Dan Havey, working with Nicole Coons. We're like, how do we actually create offers and a way for people to deliver a great membership experience with ClickFunnels 1.0 out of the box, but not have to pay the exorbitant fees. So we are very excited to today. We're going to go into a little bit of what our plan is to help you do that. We're going to be releasing a series of videos, which we'll talk about here in a little bit, to how to do that. And then we'll also be providing some share funnels and some workshops for you to be able to do it on your own. So are we ready, Susan, to dive in?
Yes.
All right. So
Excited.
Yeah. Okay. So the very first thing when we're thinking about staying with 1.0, and this is actually really true. Like if you listen to nothing else in this video and you're still decided that you want to stay with ClickFunnels or with whatever product you're currently using, this information will still help you. So we were very much, we're in the membership game. That's what we use. That's what we were always exploring. And so we're always trying to analyze and understand membership experiences that we involve in. So I think right now we're up to about 170 that we've analyzed. And across all of those, what we noticed is that there really are only 6 experience models. Now, for those of you who are familiar with Stu McLaren, whose membership, he's very well known in the membership space, he has different models, but his models are based more off of what I call the business model. So what's the charge model? What are you delivering for that business model? What we're talking about is what we call experience models. So, and we'll go deeper into this, but experience models is, think about it, if I am going to build a library versus an obstacle course, the experience and the elements that I would have in each of those experiences are very different, right? And so understanding what type of experience, a library for the random casual viewer that's coming down the line and just has a keyword, or an obstacle course, I got to go straight like this to this as fast as possible and get an award. Woo, right? Very different experiences. And so knowing the experience model is important. So what are those 6 models? Let us show you just a highlight here. All right. So of the experience models that we found, there are 6 of them. And these are the models that we see consistently across the 170 experiences that we analyzed. So in those 6 experience models, there is the challenge or the sprint model, concentrated amount of time, getting somebody from A to B, and usually like getting them into your world as quick as possible. There's the library model, which is like, here's all my resources, and they come with a keyword, or it's just like a great reference area, right? The course model, I know that I want to take somebody from A to B. It could be self-paced, or it could be kind of a cohort where we're all going through together, but there's key milestones that they're going to pass all along the way in order to go from A to B. Mastermind model, this is all about community. I want to go powwow with a bunch of other geeks or whoever my community members are, and I want to come together and learn. Coaching model is more of like, okay, I'm going to be here as a coach and hold space for you and hold you accountable. And you might have stuff to do on your own, but you also might have stuff to do with me and the group. And so how do I be able to do that? And then finally, the event model, summits or live events or launch parties. These are all types of events that you'll have that you're making an experience around. So these 6 models, experience models, we know are important whenever you're building any kind of membership experience. And again, over the next couple weeks, we're going to deep dive into each one of these 6 experience models. And again, it doesn't really matter which program or software that you're on, to know the model that you're in is important. But here's the catch, and why ClickFunnels 1.0 is the reason why you want to do it, is that if you really want to be able to customize the experience model and build according to the experience model, you need a platform that's flexible and will allow you to put the right interaction elements that support that experience model. ClickFunnels 1.0, from our experience, is the only one that does that. In addition, you need a funnel system to sell it. So that's where, Susan, I'm going to hand it over to you. Yep.
Yeah.
Funnel system.
You read my mind.
Yeah.
You want to just hit to the next? Yep, perfect. Okay. So this is Russell Brunson's funnel value ladder. You can learn a lot more about this in his book, .com Secrets. There's a link in the description if you want to go get that. But what this is showing is, so if you don't know what a value ladder is, the bottom of the ladder is where people are usually coming into your world, and it's going to be the lowest price ticket things that you offer, and usually it's something free. The high end of that is your highest, most expensive offer that you have, and actually, honestly, you might not have some of these. Just because your highest might be like $1,000 product, that doesn't mean that it's actually the top of your value ladder. You might be starting somewhere in the middle. But what you see here is all of the main funnels, like the most used funnels today, and where they fit along this value ladder. And so what we have done is we have mapped the 6 experience models that Andrew was just talking about to this value ladder. And we're over. So Andrea is going to be talking, diving. So Andrea is going to be diving deeper into the 6 experience models, and I'm going to dive deeper into the funnels that we use to sell each of these models. And so this is kind of our really rudimentary, quick map of mapping the experiences to the types of funnels. So we're going to dive into this, and we're going to have a much clearer way of showing this, but you can see like challenge model is like the solo one that stands out over on that left side. I don't know if you want to mouse over that for me, Andrea, but the challenge model is more over to the left. So that's something you would use more on the lower part of your value ladder. And the opposite of that would be like the coaching or mastermind models are on the other side. And they're going to be something that you use on the highest part of your value ladder, and then all the things in between. So we're going to dive into these as well, because depending on what you're selling, you're going to want to choose the right funnel to sell that thing.
Yes, well said. So if this is interesting to you and you guys want to learn more, we have 2 things. One is, if you're interested in our journey on how we got to the should I switch and we decided to stay with 1.0, please go, and we have the link below in the description to watch the should I switch series. Pick the one that you're interested in, and go ahead and take a look at it and just hear that journey of how we got to where we're at now. The second one is that in the coming week, we are going to be providing a deep dive, like Susan said, into how do I sell it and how do I build it. And so we'll provide those in the description below. And then finally, to answer that last pain point that we knew everybody had, is that we have been working with, again, our colleagues, Dan Havey and Nicole Kuntz, and we actually have wireframes, and we have membership share funnels that are going to be geared towards the different experience models and allow you to not just have the out of the box 1.0 membership experience, which we know is a little bit lacking, but at least it gets our 6 major things that have to be improved in membership 1.0, and those are all solved. So we will have that available to you guys in the coming week. We're really excited about it, and you'll find the link in the description below. Until then, Susan, anything else from you?
I think that's it.
Awesome.
Really excited for the upcoming videos. Go watch the next one right now as soon as it shows up on the video.
Yes, absolutely. And thank you guys so much for tuning in and sharing the journey with us. We look forward to deep diving on all the experience models with you in the coming weeks.
Bye.
Bye.